Pete Sepulveda, Executive Director, Cameron County Regional Mobility Authority.
And Pete, I understand you've had some very good news out of Washington, D.C.
Yes, so we'd been expecting this for a while now. Back in September of 2021, we had submitted an application for a presidential permit for the Flor de Mayo bridge in the western part of Brownsville. Shortly after that, Senator Cruz introduced legislation that would expedite the review of presidential permit applications. And then within that legislation, there was 4 different projects that were that became part of that legislation. One of those was the Flor de Mayo Bridge in Brownsville. So we've been working with the State Department since then, and then we got to the point after the legislation was passed where the State Department had 120 days to act on our application, which they did. I think it was on day 108 that President Biden actually approved and signed the presidential permit. So we're very happy, we're very excited. We think that that's going to knock some time off of the project schedule. We're very excited about working with Mexico, obviously working through the NEPA process on the U.S. side and with the federal agencies, IBWC, GSA, CBP, and others. So we think we've got a good plan in place. We've done quite a bit of work on it. We've got the right-of-way that's necessary for the project. And you know, we're probably in the middle of the NEPA process. So again, we're very excited about it. You know, we think that's going to be a big help for Brownsville and Matamoros as well.
How many years have you been working on this particular project?
On this particular one, probably about 7-8 years. You know, we did an original feasibility study and then we've updated it once or twice. But you know, we never had the luxury of saying that we had a presidential permit. That changes things. That changes everything. I think that it becomes a lot more credible project. You know, having a presidential permit. And so we're ready to start that planning process with Mexico and moving the project forward.
And remind me where the bridge is going to go.
So this will be at the intersection of US 281, which is Military Highway, and FM 3248, which is Alton Glory. On the Brownsville side, it's a highly dense residential area, retail, commercial. On the Mexican side, it's industrial, commercial, but there are maquiladora plants where the plant managers actually live on the U.S. side, but they go into Matamoros on a daily basis. So it'd be ideal for all those employees that work in that industrial area, because it'll be a straight shot, you know, from Brownsville into Matamoros.
But I understand in terms of who can use the bridge, it's really for pedestrians and vehicular traffic rather than trucks.
Yes, because on the Brownsville side, it's a highly dense residential area. We did not want any commercial traffic in there. So it'll be strictly for passenger vehicles and pedestrians. So that in itself makes the project a lot easier as well.
Why is that bridge important to you?
You know, we're talking about the growth that Brownsville, Cameron County is experiencing. This morning at Commissioner's Court, you know, we had 4 agenda items dealing with the LNG plants. You know, temporary being 7-8 years, you know, they're going to have about 7,000 or 8,000 employees. You know, you multiply that, you know, by 2 or 3, you know, family members. And so that's only, you know, 2 companies. SpaceX, you know, is up to about 2,000 employees. Other industry that's looking at Brownsville, Cameron County. So we're going to have, you know, a big influx of people. So we need that international mobility between Brownsville and Matamoros to continue to have a good flow of traffic on the border here in Brownsville.
And obviously there's a lot of retail at the top end of Alton Glory. You'll be hoping Mexican nationals will be coming across that bridge and shopping in Brownsville.
Absolutely, yeah, that's the whole idea. You know, Alton Glory is a retail corridor. You've got anchor stores, you know, on 3248 and I-69E, and that whole area is just going to continue to grow. So I think we're just getting ahead of that growth, of that boom that Brownsville is going to see coming, and so we want to make sure that we're prepared with the transportation infrastructure.
Anything else you'd like to add on this one, Pete?
No, there's a lot of people that have been involved. Obviously, Senator Cruz, Senator Cornyn, Congressman Gonzalez, our county judge, our commissioner's court. Always, you know, commissioner's court makes it easy for staff to work on projects of this significance, and this is an international significant project. But it's easy when the court understands the importance. So we're just glad that we have the political leadership in place to be able to work on this type of projects.
Well, thank you so much for the update, Pete, and obviously great news for Cameron County.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Thank you.
Steve.